This is the new Renault Twingo, and it's been causing quite a stir because its engine's in the boot and it's rear wheel drive. Now that's a layout that we're more likely to find in a race-bred sports coupe, so what's it doing in a city car? Well, Renault have good reason for it, and I'll get back to that later. Now I love Twingo's new look. It's cute, it's cheeky, and like all the trendy city cars, you can customise it. One of the potential downsides of putting the engine in the boot is that it will use up valuable boot space. But Renault have actually done a really good job with this boot. Now it is off the class leaders in terms of volume at just 188 litres, but it's a really usable space. It's a good practical shape, there's a wide opening. This sill is flat, it's high, so you can easily slide things out. And you can also fix those rear seats in an upright position, which will increase the load volume to 219 litres. The rear seats can also be folded down flat, and in a first in the city car segment, the front passenger seat folds down flat as well. This is the first Twingo to have 5 doors, which makes it a bit more practical. Now, one of the reasons for putting the engine in the boot is to make the cabin roomier. And I think it's actually really worked here. I mean, it feels spacious. I've got enough headroom, enough knee room. The only thing I'm not so keen on back here is the pop-out windows. But then, it's a cheap car and they're pretty common in city cars, so we can't complain too much. The cabin of the Twingo is just as bright and cheerful as you would expect from the outside of the car. I love this modern uncluttered dash design. The white and black trim is standard on all cars, but you can add pops of blue or red. Now storage is very good in here. I love this bin here. You can throw a lot of clutter into that. The glove box again is a good size. It goes back quite a bit and it's recessed so it doesn't impede too much into your front passenger's leg room. Now there's no touchscreen as standard, but Renault have been very clever because they've realised that most of us carry around a very nice touchscreen in our pockets. So instead they've put in a cradle for your smartphone. So I'll just put mine in here now. You can download an app and it's very easy to do, and then hook up your phone to it and you can stream your music, make calls, look at maps, or use it as a trip computer. The only issue I found is that during daylight there's a little bit of glare on the screen. Renault haven't put the engine in the boot and made the Twingo rear-wheel drive so that you can drift around roundabouts on the way to the shops. Electronic stability control put a stop to that. But it has allowed them to make the Twingo shorter, and that means it's really brilliant for nipping in around town and for parking. The turning circle is also amazingly tight because you can turn the front wheels 45 degrees and you really notice that extra agility around town. The steering is also nice and light as well. Visibility is excellent all around, and you do sit quite high up in here, so there's a good commanding driving position. Has a brand new 1 litre 70 brake horsepower petrol engine, and it's very economical. You get up to 63 mpg and it costs €190 per year to tax. There's enough pull in the lower gears to zip confidently around town, but once you get out into the open road you do notice that it runs out of a bit of steam. a relatively comfortable car as well. The suspension's not too soft, it's not too stiff, and there's a surprising amount of grip as well, so you can kind of take on the corners quite enthusiastically. But I did notice that over rougher roads it can be a little bit bouncy. So what everybody wants to know, is it fun to drive? Well, yeah, it is, and in respect that it's light, it's agile, it feels nimble, and also it's nice, I suppose, to hear the engine whirring away in the back. That gives the car a little bit of character. But look, it's no hot hatch. There's also this robust feeling to it. It reminds me a little bit of the Fiat Panda in that regard, but with more style, obviously. There are 3 trim levels: Expression, Play and Dynamic. So all cars get a speed limiter, LED daytime running lights and front electric windows. But if you go for the mid-range Play trim, you'll get aircon and also a height adjustable driver's seat, which is handy. There's no alloy wheels on the Play model, but you do get these two-tone hubcap covers. They're actually very nice, they're quite funky looking, and they give the illusion of alloy wheels. The options are a folding electric panoramic sunroof, and then there's rear parking sensors. Guys, if you need parking sensors on a car this small, there's something seriously wrong. If you go up to dynamic trim, you have the choice of this same 1 litre 70 brake horsepower petrol, except with start-stop, and that lowers the running costs a little bit. You can also choose a 90 brake horsepower turbocharged unit, but the price goes up as well. I mean, that's €16,500, so that's starting to look a little bit expensive for a small car. I think this engine is perfectly adequate if you do a lot of short journeys in and around town. The new Renault Twingo makes a real statement with its engine in the boot, rear-wheel drive layout, and those cute and cheeky and customisable looks. Now, I love the way this car blends the practicalities of a 5-door city car and a roomy cabin with some of the style and fun of trendy rivals like the Fiat 500 and the Opel Adam. Now, this car is most at home in the town or city, where you can really appreciate those small dimensions and amazing manoeuvrability. If you're looking for a small car under €15,000, this has to be on your list.